Hello.
GM.
I'm very sick
What's
today.
happening? You're very sick.
Yeah, I don't know, like I'm fine, but yeah, very
Sick and tired of working too hard.
Sick of this market.
yeah, sick of this market.
Yeah, I think everybody is.
Good morning, all. Or afternoon. Good morning.
Morning. Is Randon is Team Singapore joining?
Don't know. I see Sheldon was on a yacht, so I don't know.
It's tough out there. Someone's got to do it. Apparently, there's no bear market in Asia, so life's good. They're just enjoying the Asian bull market. Have you guys seen the video? It's absolutely pumping it to token 2049.
Are you pre-ordering the new iPhone, Fred?
I was pretty bullish on it, and then after about 15 minutes, I realized that it's just another. It's the same as the last like 5 iPhones. So.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna. I need a new phone anyway.
Yeah.
I was quite excited about the watch. I mean, definitely.
Yeah, watch is cool.
I forgot the model's name, but definitely an improvement. I mean,
what do they change with the watch?
Unless they've had what's the top model called? The one with like all the kind of navigation.
Series 8.
I've never seen anyone with an Ultra, so unless like
Fred, didn't you buy the iPhone when we were in Miami? I could swear you bought a new one when we were there.
No, I didn't.
Or he did.
I used to
I've been
work
waiting.
The amount of people that bought the it wasn't called the Ultra then, it was the Hermes or something. I'm not sure if they've still got that deal going on. Like the amount of people that came in, like, 1 in a million.
Well, the Hermes partnership is I think, isn't it just for the straps?
It used to be the watch as well. It was like engraved on it. It said Hermes, but no, but that's not actually the one I meant though. There was a what's it called? I guess it's the now Ultra, but it used to be. It was made of some like weird material. It was like made of porcelain or something weird. It was like I can't remember what it was called.
Morning.
Morning.
Who was that? Is that Gideon?
Me. Sorry, Fred.
See, we got a Seth here. I don't know if I've met a Seth before.
Seth's new, the indicator guy. So he's that's new since while you're away, but
Okay. What else has changed? I see the arrival time of work in the office has changed seemingly.
I think everyone was sick. I thought that was Joe's message.
Okay. Everyone's sick and tired, eh? Okay. One of those bugs.
Ooh, I just realized something. Do you remember on Curve when you know what happened there? The founder took out massive loans and then started OTCing some Curve.
So they sell it.
It's now at the OTC level, which is 40 cents, where they actually bought in. Well, like the price was 57, but their OTC price was 40 cents. And I see that one of the OTC guys, I don't know what the ENS is called, but he's deposited all his Curve to Binance now.
It's Michael Ergov.
Michael Ergov is the founder, but one of the guys that he OTC'd to has sent his Curve to the exchange. It's only 220K worth, but it's kind of a once one sells, then everyone sort of has their handshake agreement. So, and there's no trust in this industry. So yeah.
Yeah. Spinach hands.
Do we know what time the FTX announcement or whatever, or judgment or whatever it's going to be is today?
I think 10 Eastern or 11 starts. I'll double check that. But
so
it'll be
everyone's
late afternoon,
waiting.
kind of thing.
Is everyone waiting for this announcement on how the liquidation proceedings will kind of commence?
Well, there's two big things today. There's CPR 230 and this FTX. I mean, it makes for extreme volatility today. I mean, either way.
Yeah, I mean, I find it hard to be bullish now. I'm not saying the market's going
FTX
down.
has put a new proposal through to ask that the public isn't informed when they will get access to sell their assets.
Is it true that it's only limited to $200 a week, though? I have 2 million, like 200 million a week or something?
It'll be 50 to 100 million, and then it'll be max 200 million for select assets.
Per week
we're not
or
going to
per
actually
tranche?
know.
Per week.
Like
200
Sol would be 200 million a week.
It
per
could be
asset,
no. It's just whatever they. I don't know how they're going to, like, no one knows how they're going to, like, what the select assets are. Like, are they going to be solely based on what the asset is, or are they going to be solely based on the market depth? Like, if the market depth for BTC is way better than the market depth for Sol, so they might say, okay, the market can absorb way more BTC sell pressure rather than Solana sell pressure. So we'll up the amount of BTC you can sell a week, and we'll leave the Solana sell pressure at 50 to 100 million a week.
Well, if this judgment happens, I mean, this is extremely bearish, as it were, or short-term bearish for crypto.
What would $100 million selling of Solana per week, do you think, due to the price? How much do you think it would impact?
So
it would.
What I've noticed is that there's a daily trading volume of around 300 to 400 million happening on Solana. So 100 million, I don't think would bring a big difference, I would say.
It's more the mental aspect. So the market's just going to perceive they're dumping,
They won't
that's
dump.
1/4 of the daily trading volume. That's
If they don't build a wall,
quite
they'll make their
priced in
own
at this
price.
point. I mean,
They can't
what
dump them.
point is it priced in? Surely at this point, it's everyone knows. It's like,
I mean, you can't price in something. You can't price in selling. I mean, you can price in stuff that is not part of it.
No, but I'm saying, like,
you can never price in a part of the transaction. And secondly, somebody said like 300 million daily volume. I mean, you have to take into account that a lot of volume in crypto is wash trading. So when you actually calculate how much real volume there is, it will be considerably lower than whatever is shown on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. Just for an actual estimate, I remember that when Jump Capital did that wormhole crypto thing, and they actually bought like ETH. I think it was like 320 million or something like that. Joe, you would remember that.
Yeah.
That actually moved a little bit. That actually moved the ETH market slightly, and that was like 300 million on ETH, which is a much higher market cap than Sol. So to brush it off, I don't think, like, I mean, there's a good chance that a lot of these deals happen OTC, and that's the only, in my opinion, that's the only silver lining here. But if they do actually sell it on the open market, it's safe to assume that it will affect price. Short to mid-term, not just short-term, because this will be a gradual process.
Yeah, a big percent will be OTC. I mean, it's the statistics, right? I mean, it's the probability. 30% maybe will be.
Yeah,
OTC.
but you have to find a buyer on the other side.
Exactly. I mean, you can't, like, OTC doesn't depend on you. That doesn't depend on
yeah, but there will be buyers. Why wouldn't people want to? There's so many people.
Definitely.
I mean, but they've got 1.16 billion in Sol. So if they're doing 100 million a week, it takes roughly 12 weeks. If they were to do it every week.
Is that the liquid amount?
I actually can't find the liquid amount. Like, I just don't think it's actually public, whereas it should be.
Yeah, I also don't think so.
I've been searching for ages, and people are saying, oh, it's this. they have a lockup period to 28, which they do, but we just don't know to what stance. I saw in that new filing it said that they've pre-ICO tokens. I think it was $110 million worth. So like, does that mean they have $1 billion liquid? I don't think so. I think it's considerably
Doesn't
less.
sound right. Yeah.
No.
So
Yeah,
all I'm seeing really is the FTX, the estate of the bankrupt FTX has marshaled around 7 billion in assets, including 1.16 billion Solana and 560 million in Bitcoin, according to a Monday court filing. So, I mean, if that's what's coming out of the court filing, then I guess that's probably the most accurate thing that we have to go off.
Saw that Robert was doing some numbers yesterday.
Yeah, its highest hourly burn and its highest hourly volume, $164K in an hour. Jesus.
I'm pretty tempted to start nibbling. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Prannoy sent me he sent me the chart earlier and it looked really good.
Yeah, looks like it's on support to what it was yesterday at like $13. It's up a bit today. Yeah, I'm really tempted.
Oh, well.
So the main stories today, CPI and the FTX liquidations. Is anything that's happened overnight? I'm just scouring the group. FTX is preparing to sell billions in crypto. So what time is this announcement? Sorry, I know we have spoken about this.
We think the hearing is at 10 a.m. Eastern, so it'll probably be late afternoon by the time you start hearing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a big story.
And does anyone want to just do a recap of the hearing with Gary Gensler yesterday? I know it was covered on the Spaces, but I only kind of caught.
I read a thread on it. There wasn't much.
Yeah. Was it by any chance an Adam Cochran thread?
I actually did read an Adam Cochran thread. It was only a 3-parter though. That was on the fact that it's going to be a big fight for the ETH spot ETF because he again didn't give any clarity on what ETH is and all this sort of stuff. But nothing. He just kept saying that it's crypto is full of fraud and all this sort of stuff, which is true. He didn't say any new remarks. He did address though the Grayscale stuff and that they are reviewing the spot ETF filings. So he did mention that. But like, what do we gain from that? We know that the SEC are looking at them. So yeah, kind of a nothing burger yesterday.
Did anyone else notice that his kind of tone and attitude had like slightly shifted?
In what way?
I just guess he almost seemed like less defensive, more like just like the tone, his body language, like his tone of his voice, like it just seemed that he was kind of like less defensive and more, I don't know, I guess maybe reasonable.
Fred, there seems to be a lot of political pressure now on him than 6 months ago, especially from the crypto side. So I mean, obviously when he was talking about crypto, it sounded like, he was a bit more defensive because, everyone's talking about fire him and that and this. And that was what I picked up. I think you're right there. Yeah.
It was almost like he wasn't, he was like intentionally trying to not come off as like this, I don't know, just like the evil SEC guy.
Yes.
He was trying to come off as like a bit more of a nicer guy and substantiating his kind of defense and like with a different tone. I don't know. It's just something I picked up on.
He sounded more.
He's got to be nice to both sides. I mean, with upcoming elections, the new president will have to choose a new chair, right? They're going to keep him or not. Maybe he wants to leverage that, or maybe Larry Fink came knocking at his door.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a side note, does anyone want a copy of it's a 42-page document on the Monday court filing from the FTX hearing?
We have it.
Sweet. Cool.
The BitBoy stuff, well, first of all, the BitBoy show did well again yesterday. People are very interested in what he's up to, but he's now accusing.
I'm surprised how interested people are in it, to be honest. I have to say. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm really surprised how this story is like gripping people. There's no alpha in it whatsoever.
No, but there's nothing happening in the market. This is interesting.
Yeah, that's it. It's true. It's true. That's probably the only reason why there's nothing else happening. It's just actually a sentiment check.
I mean,
it's like
drama.
It's like reality
drama,
TV,
like
right?
elicits,
People love drama. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drama elicits the exact same response in the brain as what winning the lottery does.
Yep, but I see BitBoy is now, not BitBoy, sorry, Ben is now accusing TJ of having an affair as well.
Wild. Like, for someone that's had a spiritual awakening and recovered so quickly, there is absolutely zero humility in dragging someone else and doing an eye for an eye. So, like,
yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a great look, but it is what it is.
With respect, he did say that if it went to court, it would get ugly and messy. So you can probably expect that.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get real dirty.
I mean, the only good thing to come from this bear market, apart from low prices on crypto, is all the drama. I mean, whether it's the crypto Twitter trader drama or whether it's like BitBoy drama, like it's fun. I mean, it's what gets you to the end of the day.
Yep. The lawsuit still isn't public. We sort of expected it yesterday, but BitBoy started quote tweeting tweets with quotes from Rand's show, so he basically confirmed it. But yeah, it's going to get messy in public, and everything's gonna.
Wait, what? He what? Started quote tweeting what?
He started quote tweeting. Someone quoted Rand from the show, and BitBoy quote tweeted it saying, "Yeah, this is happening. TJ did this, did that." Like, he just started outing TJ basically.
Did he say that TJ, kind of, like met his coworker and married her, or something like that?
Yeah, he said he hired someone as his assistant.
Yeah. He's subordinate.
2 weeks later.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and TJ was married at the time, or she was married at the time?
One of the other.
She was married at the time too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, they were together.
But he keeps saying that he's majority shareholder of Hit Network, so. Jets, something to talk about. But
so, guys, apart from this BitBoy thing, what I noticed yesterday, which was actually a significant news from a crypto standpoint, is so Cosmos enabled native USDC. So that is something which was in the works for a lot of time. So now so as you guys know, USDC gets traded a lot more than the assets within crypto, right? So this is like a boost for Cosmos ecosystem, considering how quickly these stacks on the L2s have been gaining traction over the Cosmos SDK. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how this plays out and how this could bring more money into crypto once the macro conditions get better.
Yeah, another thing that's happening on Cosmos is you can now liquid stake without unbonding. I think that's today.
You can now liquid stake without Oh, okay.
Without unbonding. So if you had staked your Atom.
And also you get what, 20% API on that? API on that?
Yeah,
that's
I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's around there.
Yeah, on Stride you get 20% right now to
Stride,
staked Atom. Yeah. I did some.
I think that's today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the problem with Cosmos token is that doesn't really have the utility it needs to have. They became too. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the community became too selfless from a value accrual point of view. I think value accrual is where Cosmos is still struggling, and that's exactly where some of these L2s could, triumph over Cosmos with these stacks, these Optimism and other ones are coming out with.
suppose you could sort of make the same argument for Arbitrum. I mean, aside from governance, you know,
Yeah,
it's also
now
no
it's
real value accrual.
it's a DAO now, so the community has to come up with the proposals and get things done,
Yeah.
right? This is the
Yeah.
time to get it done. Yeah. That's what I think. You know, these L2s, if these L2s have to survive, they will have to come together, find a vision to build a token, and then build a token and value accrual mechanisms to keep the community together, and you know, the takes like just exactly what Ethereum did. They just have to they just have to stick to the Ethereum playbook and just try to do something similar to that, and I think they'll be able to build community like Ethereum has done over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, that's the easiest way to approach it, I guess.
What about the CoinEx hack thing? Has that been talked about yet? Was it talked about in the spaces? Or?
Nope. It's $30 million, isn't it? Or maybe even
27
more.
million. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
But it
it's
says suspected hack. That's has anything been verified? It's all from like nothing in the recent hours. Like, oh wait a minute, no. CoinEx confirms hack. That's from 6 hours ago.
yeah, their exchange was hacked. Although I'd never heard of them, CoinEx, or maybe I had.
I've heard of them, never used them.
Yeah, $30 million from exchange hot wallets, I think.
Yeah.
And then I also saw that CEO of Binance US resigned, and I nearly died because I read it. I thought I didn't read the US part, so I was like, oh, here we go. But it's kind of inconsequential now.
He resigns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's Binance US, right? I mean, like I think it's
Bit of a dead exchange, though. I mean, how much volume do they even do in a day at the US exchange?
Very little. Nothing. Sorry, they've
Nothing.
cut off all of it's dying, like it's dead.
Yeah.
It's dead. I wouldn't read like kind of too much into that. It's like a dead exchange.
Fair.
I'm in an arb trade and it seems to be popping as we speak.
Nice.
Did you say
Did
an
you say
Arbitrum trade?
Arbitrum.
Yeah, ARB.
Yeah. No, we for anyone listening that's not subscribed to the daily candle, go and do that. It's in the link a bit below the description of all the videos. But that we I think Kyle talked about it yesterday. Yeah, there was a whale dumping. They dumped like large amounts of ARB to save their Aave position. And basically, Kyle was saying it would go like from 70 cents up to like 90 maybe to test resistance. So it was like a big trade there. So anyone who is trading, go check it out. What's it on now?
80.5, 0.7. Sorry.
So if it plays out, what Kyle said, it should go. It might go to 90 to test the underside resistance before. Well, we'll see what happens, but before maybe dumping again.
Yeah, it is actually popping.
It'd be good to get. I posted it in the group yesterday. It'd be good to get Ben Cowan on the show.
Yes.
I think he's got a lot of data. He's generally quite a good guest. Gets good views. And Angela's listening, and I think, have you spoken to Angela? Are you there? Is she here? Oh, she might be busy. Okay.
I am here. I'm here.
Did you? Are we doing a banter Friday this week or not?
I asked Ran again. Yesterday he said no, and he didn't reply to my text about that.
Okay.
I take it no this week.
Okay.
The only reason why Ran mightn't do that is because he had him on like a month ago, you know. So I don't know if he feels that we're repeating guests too early or whatever, but Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
some.
but a lot of these guests, they've still got a lot of. I mean, there's still there's not that many people posting like good shit all the time at this point. Like if I'd get Michael Gade back on, he's clearly having a meltdown about this credit event.
Yep. Yep.
You know, get guys like him, Ben Cowan. Like it's interesting pieces to listen to.
Has MetaMask allowed Solana? What is this? MetaMask snaps to let users interact with Solana dApps through Solflare.
That's right. Yes. So now you can any of these chains can integrate with MetaMask, or rather, I should say, the MetaMask users can now integrate with any of these chains, and use the dApps through the MetaMask. So that's very interesting upgrade which has come up recently. So it's like few features they've added to MetaMask within the wallet, and through those features you can use the different chains which you couldn't use.
So you can use MetaMask for just everything, basically. Is that what we're saying?
Sorry?
I was saying the MetaMask you can use for, like, you said that which chains can use that feature. So you've got Solana. Can like other chains do the same?
So we have Starknet, Solana, we have Polygon, which is already integrated, but there's a few more L2s which are going to get integrated soon. So far, I think the new chains which I've heard of, which have integrated with MetaMask, is Starknet and Solana. Those are the few which I think are new, but the rest, I guess, I mean, I've been using Polygon and MetaMask for a long time, but I guess using through snaps is something new, I think, for for chains like Polygon or all the existing one which you could use through MetaMask. So I personally haven't used it, so I can't vouch for it, but that's a feature which I think sounds very interesting for most of the users, because now all the MetaMask users can get access to Solana, which is actually great because there's hundreds of millions of users who use MetaMask, right? Or maybe right now maybe lesser, but yeah, that's good for Solana and Starknet and other chains that are gonna integrate with snaps.
Maybe if they integrate Cardano, that'll be like the end of the bear market. That'll be like the bottom signal. Like there's nothing else left. Joking.
I don't know if you guys, we didn't talk about this week. So while we have token 2049 happening in Singapore, earlier this week we had permissionless happening, which took place in Texas, and some interesting things came out of that. So Robert Leshner, one of the founders of Compound, he said something interesting, which I think nobody has said ever, and I think that caught a bit of fire on Twitter too. Is that he said institutions are interested in crypto or getting into crypto, but they are not interested in trading crypto assets or shitcoins or whatever, all the degening stuff. They're more interested in trading assets they're interested in or they like to trade on chain. So that's where he was trying to push the RWA narrative, the real world assets narrative. I thought that was very interesting.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah. I was wondering what you were saying there. So that he's saying that they're interested in assets and assets in the real world that they can actually bring on chain, then they're interested in them. He said something like they're not interested in, I can't remember exactly. He said, are you ready for some cold water or something?
That was like tokenization, right? So they're interested in tokenization, literally what LSEG is doing right now, London Stock Exchange Group. Like they're working on that. So anything that is tokenized, they're interested in that because it increases the transparency, security, and all.
Yeah, he said institutions aren't coming. They love the tech, but don't love the crypto native assets.
Exactly.
That's what he said, which is a pretty big statement, but it's true. Then is he the founder of OneCoin, sentenced to 20 years. If OneCoin got that, I'd say SBF is looking at that going, oh God.
But I thought
Look,
that the creator of OneCoin was missing. It was that lady, and then her brother sort of stepped in.
Yes.
Who got sentenced?
That Carl, he
brother.
co-founded it. Yeah, Carl Greenwood.
And the sister who made all the money is still missing.
Yeah, Crypto Queen.
Wow.
Ruja or something, isn't her name? Yeah.
You got between 4 and 15 billion on the YouTube I was watching the other day.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast a while ago. It's an absolutely ridiculous story.
Sure,
She's
20
in
years sounds more reasonable than 11,000 years, right?
Yeah, true. That's true.
The guy from Turkey got 11,000.
They went easy on him.
It's insane, 11,000.
Yeah, there's not many alts moving. No outliers really. Some of those on-chain tokens are starting to come back though. Like we discussed, Rollbit, Unibot's doing okay. Like it's some money flow back into these some of our favorite on-chain alts, but Friendtech is still popping. Like it's hard for the average user to make money on it, and I get that, but you can qualify for the airdrop by just buying people's shares. The higher your ETH portfolio, the greater your airdrop of points every Friday is. So it incentivizes money to stay into the ecosystem. It incentivizes buying and selling and transactions on the platform. And yeah, I'd say this airdrop will be really juicy. So that's the best marketing thing a project has ever done, by literally saying airdrop in the top right corner, and kind of they basically confirmed the airdrop the day the app came out. Not keeping it a mystery, not keeping it this, that, or the other, just literally having it in front of everyone's faces, making everyone use the app. And I know it's hard to get involved, but there's money to be made on Friendtech.
How do you want to structure? How do you want to structure the doc today? The show. CPI's main story.
Yeah, we always do a CPI tile on CPI day, so we'll have to do one like that. Obviously the CPI won't be out until an hour before the show. Or no, not an hour, 35 minutes. So yeah, I'd say prepare CPI tile. What else?
So do you obviously get enough kind of snippets of the hearing, the main points?
Yeah.
That's quite important. Duran's going to ask for those. So like any threads that kind of summarizes it. Video clips of like maybe some tough questions you have to answer. The FTX thing as much as possible. I think thumbnail wise we'll prepare a couple for both scenarios.
I don't know about an FTX thumbnail because, well, Ivan did it yesterday, so maybe Ran is more. No, Ivan did it the day before yesterday, so maybe he has more lenience to doing an FTX tile. But we already no, actually Miles did it, so I don't know if I'd even bother making an FTX tile.
How about doing like CZ one, because there are two newses for Binance US. Like we saw this. I mean, yeah, it's not a big deal because Binance US does not have major volume, but CEO left and they have announced 1/3 of the staff to be laid off, and so this is gonna increase, right? So maybe.
Yep.
So we've got CPI, we've got Binance, we've got Gary Gensler. I mean, everyone has already used that, Gary Gensler, but still.
Did George also use it?
Yes.
What
does George do?
Use the Bitcoin ETF one. That's a stupid one.
And Ivan's doing bull market catalyst just appeared.
Is he live?
Yep.
Okay, there is pretty much nothing going on, other than CPI, which is going to be like a. Remember, CPI shows generally have like a very short shelf life, but like great lives. Live views are great, and then it just drops dead. So we've got to find like one or two other solid stories.
It's important that we use it though to get the lives in.
There was the Glassnode's newsletter about the liquidity drought. I think it's probably worth a couple of good charts. And there's also a
It's
video.
good. The only issue with that is Ran hates that sort of on-chain stuff, and that's he's just not a major fan of it. But I'll include it because I did read it, and there was one chart that caught me. So yeah.
Which one? The stablecoin dominance chart, the supply dominance.
Yeah.
The one with USDT going up and the rest going down.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, why is USDC just like losing so much market share? I mean, there's such a regulated stablecoin. I guess it's just
liquidity, Fred. With the tightening conditions, everyone's pulling out of USDC and moving to treasuries, right? It's just there's no DeFi activity and stuff like it. So once interest rates start going down and the macro gets a bit more clear, I think the money will start flowing back into USDC. I don't see a reason why. With now Coinbase kind of taking some ownership in Circle, and they want to support USDC as much as they can. So it's just like where Solana is right now, where tech is good, everything's fine. It's just there's no liquidity.
It's just a fucking waiting game, isn't it? It's
exactly. That's it. 6 months, 8 months, and that's
where
that's
6
where
to 8 month holiday.
Yeah, that's where Arthur Hayes was right about it yesterday. I think on one of us. So he was one of the panelists at the Token 2049 yesterday, and he was saying the same thing. Like, bull market starts, sometime early to mid next year. I guess. I mean, unless something, and something out of the ordinary happens, which I don't think could happen, considering all the catalysts which are due, right? All the ETFs and stuff.
Yeah, Arthur Hayes is a counter signal. Or not a counter signal, wait, you were talking about Arthur Hayes there, weren't you?
Yeah, Arthur Hayes. So we have quite a few people right now. We have Arthur Hayes. So we have him, Chris Bernesky. He's the one
He's
who we
great.
need to keep an eye on. Yes. So he
He's
comes
great.
out and talks the right stuff at the right time. So when he starts opening up about stuff, that's when you know that that's actually one of the bottom signals. And he did that when FTX collapsed. He started talking great things about Sol, because the tech was already good. And same thing he did over the last, I think he started doing it over the last few weeks, where he started talking, the potential of the industry and the good things. He starts doing that when bearishness gets really, really, really bad. And I think he has one of the great understanding and the sensibility about where the market is from a sentiment standpoint of view. So I actually kind of keep an eye on that and see what his moves are on Twitter.
Yeah, I think he's probably one of my favorite investors and analysts out there. I feel like his analysis is so kind of reasonable and never from like an emotional place.
He's very balanced, you're right. And he's been in the industry
balanced.
for over 10 years, right? So he knows shit.
Yeah,
he's been through cycles.
Exactly. We have tried to get him on the show. He's like not too convinced to come on, but I have tasked Angela with Ran wants to start doing more kind of long form interviews, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours even.
So Fred, I can suggest you something. So Chris Bernesky has his subordinate who went on Laura Shin's Unchained podcast along with Chris Bernesky recently. Maybe we can try to get him on. he was very good too, and he's been in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
industry for a while.
They
So,
were both placeholder VCs, right? He was also one
yeah,
of the
yeah,
partners.
partners.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched that. Yeah, that was a great interview.
Maybe
So,
we can get him on. Yeah.
so like he was top of the list when I thought about who to get on for the long form stuff. Crispin, he loves that. I think the reason why he didn't want to come on recently or previously is because our interviews are quite like he likes long form stuff. He doesn't like timed interviews. If it goes on for an hour, he likes to kind of work through a whole thing until there's basically nothing else to talk about. He doesn't like these kind of deadline interviews, half an hour, 1 hour.
Yeah, that's why it goes on Bankless and stuff like that. Because Bankless, some of the stuff which Bankless put out, it's more long form stuff. It's more factual than what's happening right now in the market. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys are seeing, or can we get this kicked off? I think.
No, not seeing
Try-
anything.
I mean,
try-
it's all pretty mundane at the moment. It's just FTX, CPI stuff, the same old charts and whatnot are recycling. Like, I mean, you can spin up anything you want, really. Like, it all is like, even watching Coin Bureau yesterday, like his whole entire segment was on just the economy and understanding like what everything means, the CPI, PPI, unemployment numbers, like going through all household debt and retail markets, housing markets, like just going through all of it. It's just a very economically informing episode because that's pretty much all there is at the moment.
Yep.
And like, to be completely honest, it's not bad news if you can spin it in a way that is engaging as well, because most people don't know about it. Like, we do because we're in it and we research it every day and we're paying attention to those things because of how much they move the markets. But before I got involved in crypto, I literally did not know anything about that. And yeah, so I guess they are pretty informative. I know it might seem like pretty dry, but I mean, it's relevant information.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just go with what we have. We better get started because I know Ran will be calling me saying, "Hey, what's on the agenda?" So, yeah, that's pretty much all for today. I think FTX, CPI, some Bitboy stuff, recap of the Gensler hearing in front of the banking committee.
There was also a video.
Sorry, go
ahead. Carry on. Yeah, and I was saying there's a couple of videos I just dropped in the group around institutions and Bitcoin, and there's Mohammed Alarian who also said last night how it's becoming maturing. It's settling in as part of the ecosystem. It's been institutionalized, and it's been good for like the maturing process. So there's a couple of good videos there. Nothing worthy of like a main story, but just cool for like context. I guess building a case in terms of like this phase of the market.
So another thing that I saw as well, Fred, which I found, obviously it's not a main headline story either, but definitely has content filling potential, is the Republican Tom Emmer has reintroduced an anti-CBDC bill to Congress, which I found personally pretty interesting, and I think that it will be quite a narrative for the Republicans to use this, because they're going after the theme of that it will undermine the American way of life and that the government is using it as a surveillance tool. So
yeah, we should get him. That's more of a crypto town hall segment. I think, Angela, if you could speak to Scott or someone to see if they can get him on
Don't you
maybe
feel like
tomorrow or Friday.
these congressmen are slightly speaking to a wall? These crypto related ones. It just
Yeah,
feels
for
like
sure.
they're
But as the election nears closer, the most beneficial thing for the market is going to be the party that is pro privacy, and that's going to be the best thing for crypto and the markets, because they're going to want, like, in this sort of scenario, there's going to be a team that wants to go against what the other team is doing. Now, if Republicans think that they can get their way through by, you know, protecting people that are in crypto with privacy and like an easing of regulation and et cetera, then like that's going to be good for us in the crypto market. So like they are just like talking to a wall ultimately, but you want to pick who has a better chance of having the conversation with the wall than not. That's
I think those kinds of guests generally also get good listeners and views and stuff. I think they're on the ground and they know a lot more about these processes and kind of rollouts of these types of things than we do.
okay.
Oh, I dropped out. I didn't know.
Oh, good.
We better
Let's wrap it up. Yeah, let's crack on. All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, guys, in a bit.
Ciao.
All right, see you later, guys.
Ciao.
Bye. Online. Here we go.